We begin our newscast with a coverage of a big breaking story. In the early hours of this morning, North Korea test-fired a ballistic missile into waters off its east coast. It's the first provocation by the regime in more than 2 months and the first since the U.S. has redesignated the regime back on the list of state sponsor of terrorism. Now, the missile fired very early this morning, as unlike the previous ones, has been confirmed by the Pentagon to be an ICBM and has reportedly flew hundreds of kilometers before landing in the East Sea off the coast of Japan. Now, keeping us abreast with the details, we have our Yu Joonhee on the line for us. Joonhee, what do we know so far?
Semin, according to South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff, North Korea launched a ballistic missile in an eastwardly direction at precisely 3:17 a.m. local time here in Seoul. Now, the projectile fired was fired from the city of Pyongsong, which lies roughly 30 kilometers northeast of the capital, Pyongyang. It was reportedly in the air for 50 minutes before landing in the East Sea, 210 kilometers off the coast of Japan's Aomori Prefecture, an area which lies within Japan's exclusive economic zone. As you mentioned, this is the first time North Korea has test-fired a ballistic missile in 75 days, with the last one occurring all the way back in mid-September. U.S. Defense Secretary James Mattis confirmed the latest missile was an ICBM, and Pentagon officials say it flew roughly 4,500 kilometers into space, higher than anything previously fired by North Korea.
And Joonhee, what has been the immediate reaction from South Korea as well as other regional key players like the U.S. and Japan?
Well, Seoul was the quickest to react, Semin. The South Korean military launched several missiles of its own just 6 minutes after North Korea's missile test. Seoul's Joint Chiefs of Staff said it conducted precision strike drills off the eastern coast using a Hyunmoo-2 ballistic missile as well as other weapons fired from a South Korean fighter jet and a Navy vessel. Over in the U.S., President Donald Trump was also briefed by security aides, but was rather unfazed in his reaction and offered only short remarks. Trump told reporters that the U.S. will take care of the matter, that it was something they could handle, while sharing no other details. In Japan, Prime Minister Shinzo Abe called an emergency meeting of his cabinet immediately following the launch. Just prior to that meeting, Japan's Chief Cabinet Secretary Yoshihide Suga urged North Korea to change its policy, warning of the grim future it faces if it stays on the current path. That's all for now, and we'll have more updates later as further details emerge. Back to you, Semin.